All right. Happy middle of the week. So we're going to actually start standing as we begin this evening class. Start standing up with your feet wider than hips distance apart, parallel. We'll begin in a forward fold. So bend your knees generously so that as you begin to tilt forward, you could allow your spine to completely hang as you relax the neck. Now you could either press your hands onto your legs, you could hold opposite elbows, maybe sway a little, take a moment to shift around if you need. Or if you'd like to start to open up the fronts of your shoulders, you could interlace your fingers behind your back or hold a strap between the hands. Now just to allow a moment to get the blood flowing in reverse, wake up the brain a bit, wake up the back side of the body, release the spine. And just as it is, connect to how your body is breathing right now. Notice its pace, how it fills space in the body. And then notice other areas like your physical state of being, your mental state. And now start to take some deeper arriving breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Maybe even sigh it out a few times if you feel like there's any tension to release. As you let your head fall, give your neck some space by drawing the shoulders up away from the neck while tilting your weight forward. Again, deep breath in. This time like you're fogging a mirror, exhale a whisper through the mouth. One more like that. Inhale, fill it up slowly. And draw the breath out, long whisper. Now as you continue to bend the knees a lot and drop the head to hang low, release the arms to hang. And if you've got any stiffness in the back, you could walk your hands up your legs slowly. Otherwise, just begin to roll the spine upright, stacking one vertebra at a time, lifting the head last. So that when you make your way up to standing, you can bring the feet a more comfortable distance closer together, still parallel. Let the shoulders relax down, and maybe you close the eyes as you slowly begin to circle the head gently. Tilting one ear towards one shoulder, rolling the chin across your chest. And the opposite shoulder and tilting the chin back. Then maybe you take 1 or 2 rounds in one direction and then switch direction. Tuning into your breath as you now cultivate a deep and even flow. Breathing through your nose. If that feels okay. And as you find a neutral, upright posture, let's come down to sit for a moment. Any way to sit that you could ground the sitting bones firmly, feel the earth supporting your body. This is Pepper. And lift the spine upright and allow the chest to broaden, the shoulders to release down. Feel the length all the way up to your neck and the crown of your head. And maybe close your eyes here as you continue to tune into your breath. So Tara Brach, a psychologist and mindfulness teacher, a very well-known mindfulness teacher, was interviewed on Vox on how to use mindfulness to ease the anxiety from this pandemic. And one of the things that she said was the single most important thing that can happen right now in this pandemic is that we feel our collectivity, that we're really here to help each other move through this. And the truth is each of us can help. We have a real gift to offer each other just by who we are and how we come forward. If we can find an inner refuge of calm, our calm is contagious. When things fall apart, it's a really horrible time in the sense that there's so much suffering. But it's also an opportunity for us to wake up our hearts in an unprecedented way. The ultimate gift of meditation is that it helps us come home to a space of presence that is large enough for whatever we encounter. And it's from that space that we can actually live from who we most want to be. And she ends with asking, so really the question is, how will you be with the fear and the grief? What is being called forth in you in these times? Who do you want to be, and what kind of world do you want? So I mentioned off camera in the beginning that I'm going to lead a 5 to 10 minute meditation. It's called RAIN. It's an acronym that Tara Brach actually developed, and it's an option after Shavasana. If you want to stay for that, which will go 5 to 10 minutes over our usual hour, or if you'd like to join us. So let's open our bodies as we open up our breaths, help to expand our perspective in order to sit for that time later. Come down to all fours, our hands and knees, into a tabletop position so that your knees are right under your hips. Set your wrists forward of your shoulders about 2 inches. Now as you spread the fingers, really feel the ground as you press into it. Feel your shins and the tops of your feet pressing into the ground. Now as you breathe in, begin to lengthen your spine forward. Then tilt your chest up, rolling the shoulders back to open the chest in cow pose. And as you breathe out, begin to pull in the belly so you feel the pelvis tilt back, the tailbone tuck under, dropping your skull as you round the back in cat pose. Really slow again. Inhale, lengthen forward. Then coil your chest up. Exhale. A few more cycles of cat-cow pose like this. Finding a sense of fluidity in your body as well as the breath. Utilizing what's called Ujjayi Pranayama, or victorious breath, to begin to warm up the body as you're moving to warm up muscles and joints. Closing the lips and gently narrowing the back of your throat to create a gently audible whispering sound, balancing the breath as you sustain it in and out. Now on your exhale, tuck your toes behind you with fingers spread, lift your hips up into downward facing dog. See that your feet are a little wider than hips width. Parallel your feet and then bend your knees a lot so that you can truly feel your hands press the ground away while you're lifting your hips up and back, feeling stretch throughout the spine. Now let the head fall. And as you ground between your thumb and index fingers, rotate the outer sides of your upper arms or your triceps downward towards the floor so that you're broadening the shoulder blades wider across your back ribs. Lifting the shoulders, lifting the hips from your weight towards the rear of your mat, whether or not the heels are on the ground. Holding still here, feel the ground as you pressed into it, especially through your hands. Feel the hips reaching for the sky. Feel the space along each vertebra of your spine. Let's take one more deep breath. Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. Now from here, begin to walk your hands back slowly towards your feet so that you're folding over your legs with a little bend in the knees at least. Shifting a little more weight forward, heavier onto the balls of your feet. Engage the fronts of your thighs, engage your abdomen as you press your hands either on your legs or the floor, stretching the spine forward as you breathe in, lengthening the chest forward. Then exhale, fold and keep shifting the weight forward from down through all of your feet, and then sweep the arms up as you inhale to rise. Relaxing the shoulders, look up and see your palms meet. Then exhale, trace your thumbs down the center of your spine. Let's flow with the breath in half sun salutation. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead. Hinging from your hips, exhale, forward fold. Feel the weight shift forward, keeping it there. Press your hands on your legs or the floor. Inhale, lengthen the spine forward, firm the belly in. Exhale, fold again. From down to your feet, inhale, circle the arms and rise up. Feel the sides of your neck long as you relax the shoulders. Exhale, join your hands to your heart. One more time. Inhale, raise the arms overhead. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, lift the heart and lengthen the spine forward. Exhale, fold again. Firming down through the feet. Inhale, rise up, standing tall. Exhale, join your palms to meet at your heart. Let's step up to the top of the mat. We'll start to flow in sun salutation C, breaking it down into a semi-flow first. So feet hips width, palms facing forward, mountain pose. Inhale, raise the arms overhead. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, press your legs to the floor, look forward, lengthen. Lower the fingertips, step your left knee back into a kneeling lunge. Untuck the back toes, firm the right foot down, then sweep the arms overhead as you lift your navel towards your spine, lifting the chest, relax the shoulders. Now on your next exhale, circle your hands to flat on the ground and step into modified plank. We'll start with a modified vinyasa. Breathe in and glide forward. Bend your elbows back. Exhale, lower your chin. Slide your chest forward and all the way down, legs straight. Inhale into cobra, just a small one. Look down ahead of you. Press the floor away. Lift the hips back. Downward facing dog. Take a slow breath in and out through your nose. As you exhale, slowly step the left foot just inside of your left hand, lower the right knee, and untuck the back toes, kneeling lunge. From the right foot still as you raise the arms and spine, breathing in, lift the heart, but relax the shoulders. Circle the hands behind you to lower your fingertips to the top of your mat. Breathing out, step forward to folds. From down through your feet, inhale, raise the arms, rising to stand as you inhale. Exhale, join your palms down your midline, mountain pose. Now a more continuous flow, side two. Inhale, raise the arms. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, lift your chest, lengthen. Lower your fingertips. Exhale, your right knee back to a lunge. Raise the arms for one inhale. Circle the hands down a plank, hands and knees. And exhale, shift forward, lower chin, slide the belly and legs flat. Inhale into cobra, perhaps a little higher. Press the ground away and exhale, lift your hips back. Downward facing dog. Pause for a full breath here. Then inhale, raise your right leg back. Exhale, softly land the foot just inside of your right hand, lower the left knee. From down through the right foot, inhale, raise your arms, lift your spine. Circle the hands to the top of your mat. As you exhale, step forward to bow. Inhale, circle the arms and rise up. Palms touch. Exhale, back to mountain pose. Now let's keep flowing. One more on each side. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, bow forward. Be in your body. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, left knee back, kneeling lunge. Raise the arms, flowing to your breath. Exhale through plank, lower chin, slide the belly forward, legs flat. Inhale, cobra. Press the ground away as you exhale to downward facing. Pause here, sustain the breath in and out through your nose. Then inhale, raise your left leg behind. Exhale, step the foot forward, right knee down. Inhale, lift the spine and arms. Circle it through, step forward as you exhale to the top of your mat. Inhale, raise the arms all the way up. Exhale, mountain pose. One more. Inhale, sweep your arms up. Exhale, bow forward, circulating blood, energy. Inhale, lengthen. Fingertips, exhale, right knee steps back, lunge. Inhale, raise your arms and spine. Circle the hands to the floor in plank. And exhale to lower chin. Slide the belly and legs flat. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Pause here, take a full cycle of breath. Then inhale, raise your right leg. Exhale, step the foot forward, left knee down. Inhale, raise your arms, kneeling lunge. Circle it through, fingertips at the top of the mat. Exhale, step forward to bow. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, hands together at your heart. So let's step to the middle of your mat, turn to face the wide width, setting up for warrior two, open up your arms. Step your ankles just about under your wrists. And then from your hips, rotate your legs to pivot your feet to face your left foot. So your left foot will be your front leg. Align your left heel to intersect the arch of your right foot. And then bend your left knee just over the ankle, making sure to turn out that left leg where you can feel the left outer hip wrap slightly underneath your body. But then balancing your pelvis, firm the top of your right thigh bone back. With your pelvis upright, open up your arms to see your wrists stack above your ankles again. And relax the shoulders, lengthen up to the crown of your head, and steady your gaze, helping your mind to focus and your body to feel stable. Feel the ground under your feet. Feel the muscles in your legs hugging the bones. Feel your navel drawing in towards your spine. And with your heart slightly lifted, feel the broadening across your collarbones, your arms. Last 2 breaths here. Now, as you firm down through both feet, straighten the left leg for triangle, and you might like to shorten your stance a couple inches for stability. Slide your hips sideways towards your right foot, reach the left hand past your left knee, and then lower it onto your left leg or just to the left of the leg. Now, continue to wrap that left outer hip under your body as you did in Warrior Two. But now add reaching the tailbone back towards your outer right heel as you lengthen the top of your head forward. Draw the shoulders away from your neck. Feel your belly hug your back. Maybe looking up past your right thumb. About 3 more breaths in extended triangle pose. Utthita Trikonasana. Nice. Now press down through your feet and inhale to rise up. Let's come back to parallel feet in this wide stance. And then from your hips, rotate your legs to face the opposite direction of your mat. Aligning your right heel to intersect the arch of your left foot. Bend your right knee just above the ankle. Feel the turn out of your right leg so the outer hip wraps slightly underneath as you firm the top of your left thigh bone back. With your pelvis upright and neutral, open up the arms to see your ankles right under your wrists. Then lengthen up through the center of your head. Relax the shoulders down and steady your eyes. Soften your gaze. Feel the calmness and depth of your breathing. Let's take 2 more breaths here in Virabhadrasana 2. From down to your feet and straighten your legs for triangle. You might shorten your stance a couple inches. Slide your hips towards your left foot. Reach the right hand past your right knee. Then lower it onto your right leg or just to the right of the leg where you could still roll your right outer hip underneath your body and direct your tailbone back towards your left heel, feeling space rather than compression in your lower back. With the shoulders releasing away from your neck, lengthen the crown of your head forward and maybe gaze up towards your left thumb. Feel the length of your in-breath. Match the length of your out-breath. And steady your gaze. About 3 more breaths here. Firm down through both feet. Inhale to rise all the way up. And let's come to stand at the front of your mat. Bring your feet to touch, preparing another flow in Sun Salutation B. So let your big toes come together, heels just slightly apart. And as you bend your knees, lean your weight towards your heels. If you're looking for more rigor, try grazing the floor with your fingertips and keeping your hips that low as we hold for about 3 more breaths. Now raise your arms only to the height that you can relax the shoulders down. Look forward and feel that your lower back maintains a natural curve. Press down through all of your feet. Exhale, forward folds. Inhale, press your legs to the floor to lengthen halfway up. Step to plank where you could have your knees down or full with legs straight. As you exhale, glide forward, hug your elbows towards your side ribs, and try to lower chest and belly same time. Breathe into cobra, or if you prefer, upward dog. Exhale to downward facing. Now keeping your 2 hips leveled, inhale, raise the right leg behind you. As you exhale, softly step the foot forward just inside of your right hand with your feet hips width apart. Spin the back heel down. Pressing down through both feet, raise your arms to stand in warrior 1 for just a couple of breaths. Feel that your 2 hips are facing forward, your back leg is straight, the heel grounded, and your front knee is bent. With an exhale, lower your hands, moving down through plank. Inhale into cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale to downward dog. Inhale, raise the left leg. Exhale, softly land the foot inside of your left hand. Separate your feet hips width and drop the back heel. Press to your feet and inhale to rise. So just a couple of breaths in the semi-flow. Hips squared, back leg straight, heel down, front knee bends. Use the entire exhalation to lower through plank and down. Inhale into cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. So now let's take 3 to 5 breaths. Slowing the breathing. Steadying the mind's focus. And relaxing any unnecessary tension within the body. Creating space to move to your breath. As you focus on your breath, allow the movement to become a meditation in itself. With bent knees, look in front of your hands. The end of your exhalation, lightly land your feet together at the top. Inhale, lift the chest to lengthen forward. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees to touch. Inhale, sink your weight towards your heels, arms up in chair. Exhale to rise up. So now let's flow through that same sequence, 1 breath, each movement, continuously. Breathe in and out. Here we go. Bend your knees, inhale, chair. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, lift your chest, lengthen. Step to plank or float back, exhaling as you lower. Inhale, cobra or upward dog. Exhale, downward facing. Inhale, raise your right leg. Exhale, step it forward, feet hips width, drop the back heel. Inhale, rise up to warrior 1. Exhale, lower into your vinyasa. Breathing in to cobra or upward dog. Breathing out to downward facing. Second side, inhale, raise the left leg. Exhale the foot inside of the left hand, drop the right heel. Inhale, rise to warrior 1. Exhale, lower all the way through. Breathing in to lift the heart. Breathing out to lift the hips. Then 3 to 5 breaths. Finding steadiness in downward facing dog. Feel your hips lifting as you relax your neck, gazing towards your feet. Feel the belly firm towards the spine. With bent knees, look in front of your hands. The end of your exhalation, lightly land your feet at the top. Breathe in to lift the heart forward. Breathe out to fold. Feet touch, knees touch. Inhale, sink your hips in chair. Exhale to rise up. So now as you stand tall and mountain, shifting your weight onto your left foot, keep your attention on your center, this area just below your belly button. Feeling a aliveness and firmness there as you balance your two hips. Lift your right leg in front of you and flex the foot. Breathe. As you turn out your right leg, wrap the sitting bone downward. Then hug the inside of your left ankle, calf, or thigh in tree, Vrikshasana. Again, with your attention at your center, feel the balance of your two hips. Now feel the ground under your left foot. Spread your toes. Spread your weight through the four corners of that foot, inner and outer heel. And feel the rise of energy up your left leg, up your spine, up the top of your head. And for the last few breaths, maybe explore raising your arms, looking up, or closing your eyes. Deep breath in. Smooth breath out. Let's take it 2 more breaths in Vrikshasana. Then join your hands at your heart and step your right foot down. A mountain pose. Take a deep inhale through the nose. This time open the mouth, perhaps sigh it out. Feel your feet supported by the ground underneath. Join your hands at your hearts. Connect to your center. Lift the left knee and flex the foot. As you turn out the left leg, wrap the sitting bone downward. Hug the inside of your right ankle, calf, or thigh. Rebalancing your two hips. Feel the firmness at your center. Now feel the ground. Spread your weight through the four corners of your right foot, spreading your right toes. As you press into the ground, feel the lift up. Your right kneecap slightly lifts, chest lifts, crown lifts, and find some softness within this holding, the strength of the space you're holding. A balance of effort and ease. Maybe raise the arms, last couple of breaths. Then rejoin your hands, step your feet down, release the arms, take another breath in, and maybe stick out the tongue, releasing some heat. Let's come back to the front of your mat, step your feet hips width apart. And from here, let's take a modified chair. So the knees are bent, parallel your feet, the thighs are hips width apart, parallel. Now see how your knees are at the same line, not one is forward of the other. Try to maintain that. And now shift your weight onto your right foot. Start to lift the left foot and flex it to hover off the floor. Engage your belly, feel your center. And then start to bring your hands together at your heart. Bowing the spine forward parallel to the floor, press the left heel straight back into Warrior 3. Feel a horizontal line from the top of your head to your left heel and across your hips as you tilt the left outer hip down. You also could place your hands on the ground and bend your right knee if you want more support. Let's take a couple more breaths here. Virabhadrasana 3. Feel your center contain as you lift the navel towards your back. We're going to land in a high lunge crescent pose. So as you're ready, bend the right knee and softly as you can, step the ball of your left foot back into a lunge, raising the arms. Now as you bend the left knee, drop the tailbone downward, lift the frontal hip bone slightly, and square your hips forward. As you reach up to your fingertips, trace that line of energy all the way down the sides of your waist, down to your outer hips. Lifting the heart, relax the shoulders. Then maybe you begin to straighten the left leg, scooting the left toes back. About 3 more breaths. Feel stability in this posture. Your center contained. Your breath and energy flowing. Join your hands together in prayer. As you think of scissoring the right hip slightly towards the rear of the mat, press your left heel back and lengthen your spine forward, breathing in. Exhale, at your waistline, twist to your right, either lowering the left hand to the floor inside of the right leg or crossing the left elbow to press outside of the right thigh. If you're crossing the elbow, you can either open your arms apart or keep your hands in prayer, but use your left upper arm to push off of your right thigh rather than completely lean into it. Feel the belly hollow, drawing away from the right thigh as you continue to twist for about 2, maybe 3 more deep breaths. Feel your center here as you balance your 2 hips. Feel the strength of your legs connecting your body to the floor. Last deep breath. Now look at the ground just underneath your left shoulder. Place your left hand flat there so that your wrist is right under your shoulder and the index fingers face forward. With your right hand on your right hip, roll onto the outer edge of your left foot, the pinky toe edge, flexing the left foot, the entire outer left side. Drag your right foot back onto the right edge of your mat, pivot the right foot to the right. Now you could use the right foot as a kickstand, only taking it halfway, or go right into full Vashisthasana, side plank, flexing both feet as you stack both, pushing the ground away with left hand and outer left foot. As you raise the right arm, lift your left hip. Bring the right hip forward. Let's take 2 or 3 more breaths. Can you create the feelings of mountain pose here? As you press through both feet, imagine the support of the ground under them as you lengthen the top of the head forward. Sweep your right arm overhead. Place 2 hands down. Either take a vinyasa, cat-cow, or go straight into downward facing dog. Re-steadying your breath. Arriving in downward dog, take a few breaths in through your nose, out through your nose. Then bending your knees, look ahead of your hands, bottom of the breath, walk or float your feet, hips distance apart at the top. Inhale, circle the arms, rise all the way up to stand. Back to mountain pose. So see that your feet are parallel, hips width apart. Then bend your knees so that your thighs are parallel, hips width apart. Modified chair. Lean your weight towards your heels. Feel your navel draw in, connecting to your center. Join your hands at your heart. Shift your weight onto your left foot. Keep containing the center as you flex the right foot to hover off the ground. Look ahead of you on the ground as you press the right heel back and bow the spine parallel to the floor. Tilting the right outer hip downward, draw the left outer hip back. Remember, you could reach for the ground if you want more support. Let's take about 3 more breaths. As though you were in mountain pose from the top of your head to your right heel. Can you feel a sense of counter forces of pressing to expand or lengthen in opposite directions while containing the center? Bend your left knee, softly step the ball of your right foot back to a lunge, and raise your arms overhead, crescent. And then bend your right knee. Feel the tailbone anchor down. Lift the frontal hip bone slightly and square both hips forward. Connecting again with your center. Steady your breathing and soften yet steady your gaze. You might feel open enough to straighten the right leg, scooting the right toes back. About 2 more breaths here in crescent. Joining your hands together in prayer, firm your right heel back as you scissor the left hip back. Lengthen your spine forward, breathing in. At your waistline, exhale, twist to your left. Either lower the right hand inside of the left foot or hook the right elbow outside your left thigh. If you're hooking the elbow, either open the arms apart or join your hands in prayer, but continue to push off of your left thigh rather than leaning completely against it. Draw the navel in, balancing your 2 hips. Rotate your rib cage and relax your shoulders. About 2 more breaths here. Turn your gaze down to the floor just underneath your right shoulder. Plant your right hand, wrist right under shoulder. Place your left hand on your left hip. Roll onto the outer edge of your right foot, flex the entire pinky toe side. Drag your left foot back down the left side of your mat. Pivot the left foot to face the left, either keeping it midway down or stacking the left foot flexed above the right foot flexed. Pushing the ground away, with all of your body touching the ground, lift up your right hip, your left arm, steady breaths. Feel your left hip shift forward enough to stack directly above your right hip, just like your wrists and shoulders are stacking. Lengthen through your neck. Feel mountain pose here as you press through your feet and lengthen through the top of your head. Last breath. Side plank, Vashisthasana. Sweep the left arm overhead slowly. Come down to hands and knees or plank. Your choice if you want to flow. Take a moment in child's pose if you need it. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Deep breath in and slow breath out. Finding evenness and flow in the breath again. So we're going to take a couple rounds of an inversion practice. So if you already have your own like headstand, save shoulder stand, those cooling inversions for later. We're still heating things up. So if you'd like to practice headstand or handstand on your own, go ahead and take a couple minutes for that. Otherwise, I'm going to walk you through dolphin pose, where from downward dog, you could either simultaneously lower both elbows to the ground, so your forearms are on the floor and you're right in dolphin, or first come down to hands and knees, then set your elbows on the floor, either interlacing the fingers or keeping the forearms parallel, palms flat. Just make sure as you hold the posture that your elbows don't splay wider than shoulders distance. You're pressing down through your forearms, lifting the hips. Legs are like downward dog, although it's a deeper stretch in your hamstrings. And you're pressing your chest back towards your shins as the navel draws in towards the spine. After 5 breaths or so, come down to your knees and take about 3 breaths to rest. Child's pose, maybe turning one ear towards the floor and releasing the arms back by your sides, stretching the neck gently. And when you're ready for the last round, take it on your own. If you're coming into dolphin pose again, you might explore walking the feet forward while pressing the chest back. You might explore lifting a leg while keeping the hips squared, flexing the lifted foot and then switching sides. So on your own, take 5 or more breaths in your chosen heating in version, and we'll meet in child's pose again. And this time, you might choose to turn the opposite ear towards the ground in child's pose, stretching the opposite side of your neck, releasing the arms down by your thighs. 3 deep breaths. From child's pose, let's come up to all fours, preparing for single pigeon, opening the hips. Now, if you prefer to lie on your back and take the supine version, thread the needle, feel free to go ahead and start that. Otherwise, from hands and knees, slide your right shin across your mat in front of your pelvis and slide your left leg straight behind you, tucking the toes. Then place your hands alongside your hips. You can take a moment to lift your pelvis off the floor and scissor your right hip back, your left hip forward. And when both hips are equally facing forward, if there is a gap between your right glute and the floor, fill that gap with blanket or pillow that you might have nearby. Then untuck the back toes. You can either stay upright. You could add in a quad stretch for the left leg by backstroking the left arm, bending the left knee, leaning forward to catch hold of the top of the left foot, and gently bringing it in towards your body. Or you could rest into a forward fold. in which you might even explore a spinal twist to open the upper back. If you're going for the spinal twist, from the forward fold, crawl your right fingertips towards the upper right corner of your mat. Then thread your left arm underneath your right bent elbow to rest the left side of your head on a pillow or the ground. Whatever variation of single pigeon, let's take about 5 more deep breaths. If you're lying on your back, crossing the right ankle over left thigh, make sure to flex your right foot so that you're stabilizing your right knee. And you might use your right arm to gently nudge your inner right thigh to splay open. Let's take one more deep breath where you are. And if you're lying on your back, add any movement before switching sides, staying on your back for side 2. You might be circling your legs. Otherwise, press into the ground to rise back to all fours. Then slide your left shin across your mat in front of your pelvis and straighten your right leg behind you, tucking the toes. Place your hands alongside your hips, lift the pelvis, scissor your left hip back, your right hip forward, and maybe place something under your left glute. Relax the back toes and decide where you want to go from here. Stay upright, go for the right quad stretch, circling the right arm back as you lean forward to bend the right knee and catch the right foot. Rest into a forward fold, or add a spinal twist in the forward fold, crawling the left fingertips towards the upper left corner of your mat and threading your right arm under your left bent elbow as you rest the right side of your head all the way down. Feel your body breathing, being present with it here for 5 more breaths. If you're lying on your back, crossing the left ankle over your right thigh, make sure to flex your left foot, stabilizing your left knee. And you might use your left arm to gently nudge your inner left thigh to splay open, relaxing your head and shoulders on the ground. Let's take one more deep breath. Start to press into the ground, making your way onto your stomach. So if you're lying on your back, you might just simply flip over. So come onto your belly. We're going to prepare for a few rounds of back bends here, heart openers. So rest your forehead on the floor, straighten your legs behind you, and point your toes on the mat. Scoot your knees as close together as possible, then reach your hands behind you to interlace your fingers behind your lower back. As you continue to straighten the legs, press your heels back so much while paralleling your feet to lift your legs off the ground as you coil your chest up, looking on the ground ahead, lifting everything you can for about 5 or more breaths here in bound locust pose, Shalabhasana. As you draw your shoulders downward, lengthen through the sides and back of your neck, expanding your chest. Feel your lungs expand. When you decide to come down, rest one ear towards the floor. You might even like to make a pillow out of your forearms and take a slow breath into your stomach. Feel it press against the ground. Long exhale. One more deep breath into your belly. And release. All right, the next round, set your forehead to the floor. You can either set up for the same posture, or if you feel ready to turn it up a notch, we're going to bend both knees for bow or Dhanurasana. First, slide your knees as close together as you can. Then bend your knees, reach your hands back to catch your outer feet, press your pubic bone against the floor, while kicking your legs towards straight and pulling your feet towards you. Try to keep your knees no wider than hips width apart. As you coil the chest up, look slightly down, lengthening your neck. 5 or more deep breaths. This is a great posture not only to open the front of your body, including fronts of your thighs, your chest, and shoulders, but also to massage and help stimulate your digestive organs. You might choose to breathe into your stomach to help that. And when you decide to release, turn the opposite ear towards the ground, maybe make a pillow out of your forearms. And since this is the last back bend on our belly, you might even like to bend your knees and gently sway your shins left and right together, helping to release your lower back. Breathe into your stomach again. Take a long breath out. One more cycle of breath into the belly. From here, plant your hands on the floor. We're going to set up a restorative twist, going along with helping our digestion tonight. This is a nice way to also decompress the spine. So there's a little bit of choreography to get into it. So come up to sit, facing the front of your mat. Straighten both legs forward. Then from here, keep your right leg where it is. Actually, swing both of your feet to the left. So no feet towards the front of your mat. Start sideways here. So your right hip is facing the front of your mat. Both feet are facing the left side. Now keep the right leg where it is and slide your left foot towards the rear of your mat. So now your legs are shaped like an L. Place your 2 hands towards the top of your mat as if you're going to come into Cobra Pose. Now here, turn your chest completely back a little. You might need to bend the knees so that doesn't feel rigid. You might even roll onto the top of the left foot. The left knee might touch the ground. So make any adjustments from your pelvis down. Then lengthen your chest forward and begin to lower it. You might come down into your forearms. If you have a pillow nearby, you might use a pillow to rest your arms or head on. You might come all the way down to your forehead. You're going to be here for at least another minute. So focus on deep breathing and still, if you can, try to breathe into your stomach as that will also help with this digestion stimulation. You could also thread the needle again with the arms, where the left arm slides under the right bent elbow, resting the left ear towards the ground or on a pillow. So as you can feel, this is quite a deep twist. And in doing these kinds of physical wringing out of the digestive organs, it's great to follow up the physical practice by drinking lots of warm water. Even slightly hot water or tea. Lemon water is great to continue to promote flow in your digestion. We've got about 3 more slow breaths here. Now take your time coming out of this pose. Take several breaths to make your way out, pressing your hands into the floor, gently lifting your torso until you can sit upright and face the back of your mat with both legs straight facing the back. So from here, just take a moment to place your hands alongside your hips and press the pelvis down, lift the spine upright. A couple of breaths to feel the length of your spine. Then keep your right leg where it is and slide your left leg to your left, which will end up at the right side of your mat. See the L shape in your legs, then place your 2 hands at the front of your mat, again as if you're about to come into Cobra Pose. Make any adjustments to your pelvis. You might bend the knees in order to turn your chest completely to face the front of your mat. You might even feel the top of your right foot and your right knee touch the ground. From here, lengthen your chest forward as you breathe in. Exhaling, you might start to lower, but it might take a while, depending on any stiffness in the spine. So only take it as low as you feel ready. If you'd like to add a twist for the upper back, you could raise the left elbow and slide the right arm underneath it so that the right side of your head lowers to the floor or onto a pillow. Now notice your breathing. Allow the bones in your pelvis and legs to be heavy as you relax the muscles around them. Feel any subtle movement of your breath within your body. Let's take 3 more slow breaths here. As you feel ready, gently crawl your hands to the floor, pressing the ground as you slowly lift your torso up. When you come up to sit, slide both legs to the front of your mat, lifting the spine upright as you flex your feet to prepare for a seated forward fold. Separate your feet hips width apart. Feel the engagement of the fronts of your thighs supporting your hamstrings. Draw the belly in slightly and lift your chest. Now as you exhale, start to walk your hands forward, hinging from your hips, taking your time to bow only to the extent where you could slightly lift your chest and keep your shoulders relaxed, maintaining space throughout your neck. Feel your outer hips firm towards your midline, your sitting bones ground as you lengthen your spine. For 2 more deep breaths. Paschimottanasana. Now begin to lift your chest slowly as you inhale to rise up. We're going to come into that cooling inversion of either shoulder stand, lifting your legs up as you lie on your back, or if you have a wall nearby, you could slide one hip against it, turn over to your side, and lift your legs against the wall, coming into legs up the wall pose, Viparita Karani. So whatever you choose, find a restful manner of lying down and lifting your legs up higher than your heart. You could have your knees bent and come into happy baby if you prefer. Just about 5 breaths in that position. After doing these sort of wringing out of the digestive organs, just turning our bodies upside down a bit in a cooling manner can help to continue encouraging the flow of digestion as well as circulation. The meditation practice that we have planned today, that's going to go about 5 to 10 minutes over our usual time after Shavasana, is one developed by Tara Brach, the person I quoted in the beginning. And it's about practicing more compassion with ourselves, especially sitting with any uncomfortable or difficult feelings. So if you feel that might be useful for you right now, then stay if you can a little bit longer after Shavasana. So do any last movements to ease your body down to the floor. If you want to stay in legs up the wall, that's totally fine for Shavasana too. Begin to lower your body into a position of rest where it can be still for the next few minutes of corpse pose. You may like to cover your eyes with something or put the weight of a blanket on your pelvis if you're lying on your back. And once your body has landed, close your eyes. Do any last shifting around to feel open in your neck and your shoulders, your spine, your legs, your hips. Consciously feel the muscles in your feet, your legs relax. Let your stomach soften, your glutes release. Allow your jaw to unwind as you relax the eyes closed. Allow a deep inhalation to slowly fill your lungs and your stomach. Pausing at the top of the in-breath. Then through your lips, lengthen the breath out even slower. We're going to do that one last time. So deeply inhale and visualize where you feel the breath flow in. Hold the breath in for a couple of seconds. And then through your lips, empty it slower. And from here, allow your breath to just flow in its natural way. As you continue to allow your body to breathe naturally, begin with small movements to gently waken it. Rubbing the fingertips together, wiggling the toes, circling your hands and feet. And as you continue to tune in, perhaps keep your eyes closed in this transition, bending the knees into your chest and turning over to your right side. Pressing your hands into the ground, gently lift your spine upright. If you're choosing to stay for the meditation practice, find a comfortable way to sit. where your posture feels both alert and relaxed. You might rest your hands in your lap, perhaps bringing the thumb and first finger to touch. Now allow a slow breath to fill your lungs. And empty the breath. Notice as you sit here, the ground supporting your body, how you feel in your physical body. Slowly scanning from the bottom, your feet, up your legs, up your torso, your arms, your neck and head. Pay any attention to any feelings, particularly anything uncomfortable, including a difficult emotion you might be experiencing or holding. The first step in rain is to recognize. So as you can, identify whether a triggered feeling from the situation, an addictive behavior, perhaps used for coping, any slight heaviness, without having to follow a story necessarily, just feeling what's there in a more tangible manner. And now the next step is allow. So like you're watching a movie, see the situation that sparks that feeling or uncomfortable emotion and freeze the frame of that situation. Allow space to pause and stay present with it just as it is. Being gentle to yourself. Recognize whatever may feel most difficult for you, with the intention of letting it fully be. And now to investigate. Tune into your felt sense. And notice how your body responds to that specific emotion. Where in your body do you feel the emotion inside? Take a moment and let your face make the expression that the emotion induces. Let your body express it as well. Maybe the jaw or the hands clench. Maybe something tenses or feels hot. Notice what wants your attention. Now lastly, the N in rain is nurture. What does this vulnerable part of you most need? From you or from a larger source of love and wisdom? How does this part of you want you to be with it? How does it need to be held? I invite you to offer inwardly whatever that is: love, acceptance, forgiveness, compassion, protection, whatever it is that the vulnerable part of you most needs. Now feel any adjustments in your posture as you offer yourself that quality. Perhaps notice any shift in your breathing or sensations. Placing your left hand at your heart, then your right hand on top. Take a deep breath in and exhale through your lips. Let's close our practice today, chanting one Om. Take a deep inhale. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.